There we go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Gold Rush Mastermind. And I was just discussing a little bit earlier, I think I might have to change it to Gold Rush 2.0 to show them that we have upgraded. So I am your host, Tony Taylor, and I'm so excited and I'm really blessed to be able to bring you this mastermind into our community and to other friends and family you may want to share this with, because it's so important that we start getting smarter about how we move through in our life when it comes to choices in our wealth literacy. So this is really what it's all about. It's about learning new ways and learning about different vehicles into wealth strategy. And of course, this one is all about these little babies behind me, which is gold and silver. Something that I was aware of, very aware of, but really didn't understand the depth of the power of it. And why I had that disconnect, I don't know. I don't know if you had that disconnect, but I most certainly had that disconnect, which doesn't make any sense because when you think about it, it's referred to as God's money. Now, if that isn't powerful, I don't know what isn't. So, how could you think that that wasn't powerful? I mean, so this is why I kind of giggle at myself going, wow, we really get disconnected on a few things, don't we? Now, I wonder where that comes from. Well, we've all starting to learn now that there's a lot of programming going out there and forced directional thinking on many, many things. And one of the things that I've learned on this journey is the meaning of the word fiat. I don't know. Does anybody know the meaning of the word fiat? I know our special guest does because I'm going to introduce her soon. Does anybody know the meaning of the word fiat? Put a 1 in the chat if you don't know the name, or if you do know. So 1 if you don't, 2 if you do. And maybe we can share that because I didn't know this, because this made a whole lot of sense for me when I did this. So thank you for sharing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so fiat in Latin, oh, you're going to love this one, okay? Fiat in Latin means a currency circulating by force. Now, isn't that interesting? Why are we being forced into a certain monetary financial system? Now, that got me thinking, kind of going, maybe there really is another reason why we haven't been educated more about gold and silver. So that's why I brought on another special guest, my dear friend Danielle. She was kind enough to bless me by sharing a new way of thinking towards how I could protect my wealth at this stage of my life. And little did I know, how I can have a great offense in the gold and silver arena as well. So that's kind of the thing we're going to touch upon a little bit today. What is the best defense and what is the best offense? And it can all be done with gold and silver. And again, this isn't all about having your wealth financial strategy all into gold and silver, but it's super important to understand the power of it and why you would want to have a little bit in your portfolio. And if you look around and if you look at all the data, all the wealthy have a pretty big percentage in their wealth portfolio. Okay. So why do they do it? The governments, okay, hoard it, as do the banks. So why aren't they sharing that with us? It's a good question, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? Things that make you go, And that's what this mastermind is all about. It's about sharing that knowledge and sharing that information with people who have also been discovering the power and the opportunities that we have out here. And that's part of this as well. And to bring people in to share that. And my special guest today is Danielle. Thank you, Danielle, for coming today. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you were able to join us this morning, because I know that you're super busy because you've been empowering a lot of people these days. Tell us about your journey. How did you get in to discover this? I'm so grateful that you shared with me.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Danielle. I'm in Maine in the United States, so nice to connect with you all. Let me just start by saying I am not a financial planner, right? I'm not a financial expert, but the way I got on this journey was when 2020 happened. I always try to see the silver lining, but true, always have, always will see the silver lining in everything that happens. And one of the gifts that we were given, I think in 2020, was the gift of time. And I've always been a researcher. I've always spent a lot of time educating myself. My passion was always in health and wellness. So since before the internet, I had books on all things natural health, right? And so I often found myself back then I say, well, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, but I certainly know how to access information. And a lot of times I'd go to my doctor's appointments and I would share information that my doctor would say, wow, I didn't know that, right? So just goes to show that you don't necessarily need a degree or a title to be educated and to know how to move forward with what's best for you. And so 2020, everything was kind of strange and off. So one of the areas that our awareness started to raise was in the monetary system, because for some reason it just kept showing up. We love Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and recently wrote the book Fake, which I love. And we noticed he kept tweeting, and I say we because Mark is my partner. You see his name right there. And we're in this together. We're doing this together. But we noticed that he kept tweeting buy gold and buy silver. And up until that point, I always thought of, if somebody mentioned gold and silver, I thought jewelry. I never thought about it from an investment standpoint. So we're like, well, geez, is this something we should have our hands on? Like, should we have gold and silver? And so we ended up deciding to take what was sitting in our bank account. And we had noticed in that moment that our earnings were going backwards because we were paying more for an interest-bearing account at the bank for them to hold our money than we were making in interest. So we ended up going to our local gold and silver dealership and walking in, not knowing anything, not even knowing what questions to ask, but knowing we wanted to turn our savings into gold and silver. So we kind of blindly walked in. We had an exchange. It was literally an exchange we gave them. And now, just so you know, we did call before we went in. So they were prepared for us. They actually asked us to give them 3 hours to get in order what they needed to pull together some gold and some silver for us. So we did an exchange. We were grateful for the exchange, but we left not really knowing what we had just done. We were not provided with any kind of education, no guidance. We weren't even sure if we got a good deal. But I even was like, how do I know this isn't spray paint? That's how new I was. I was like, is this real? Like, could they just spray paint? Right. So the trust factor.
Good point. It's funny you should say that, Danielle, because since we started this mastermind to empower people, it's been wonderful. Thank you, everybody who's been reaching out with your questions, because I love that you shared that story. And I also love that you shared about Robert Kiyosaki, because I do have a minute 44-second clip that we can show explaining the difference between fiat and, God's money too. If we have time to share that, I'd love to share that too, because it's a nice little 1.5 minute clip. But I'm glad that you brought up that, because what two people reached out and says, how do I know what I'm getting? Like, I don't know. And I said, that's exactly right. That's the whole point of this mastermind, is that you don't really know. I mean, first of all, you got to hope that the retail dude down the street isn't selling you a bill of goods, right? Chances are they're not. But the most important thing is you've got to really understand what kind of an investor are you? See, that was something I didn't even think about. And that's basically what you were saying, isn't it? Like, they just randomly just gave you stuff, but really without knowing what you really should be purchasing, they're just going to lead you to what works best for them and not best for you. So I love that you shared this story, because this is where the empowerment comes in. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Do you want me to continue?
Yes, please.
All right. Because the journey doesn't end there.
Oh, yay.
So what we did, we were happy, right? Now we're like, okay, we got gold and silver, but now what? Now what? So we put it in our safe. We didn't think much more about it until 6 months later, when our friend Kathy called us. And she called us because she wanted to share a membership that she had been introduced to. She had no idea that we had already started our investment journey. And so when we asked her, well, we've got our, we're very busy. We've got busy, other things we're doing. We're entrepreneurs. So we're always creating multiple streams of income. And so we're really busy, but we love you. We'll take a look. What does it have to do with? And then she says gold and silver. So of course we're like, gold and silver. So we sat down and she shared the information through a video. And as we sat and watched the video, which explained how the membership worked, what the benefits were, we're sitting there thinking, where was this 6 months ago? Because one of the biggest things is trust, right? You don't know who to trust. And I'm not, well, now that we got started with a membership and we've learned what we've learned, we actually realized we didn't get the best deal through that dealership. Now we're grateful we got our gold and silver, but we didn't get the best deal. As Tony was saying, that when you're dealing with a dealer, and I get it, they're entrepreneurs, they're business owners, but it's what's in it for them. They weren't looking out for us, because had they been looking out for us, they would have also educated us, right? So we ended up, getting a hold of a membership. And one of the things we loved the best was the education, right? And so there's an education platform, and what we've learned through the education, I feel really savvy now as a gold and silver investor. And it didn't take a degree. It didn't take 4 years of college. In fact, I actually spent 14 years as a teacher, a public school teacher. And I'm blown away that in our curriculums, and I'm sure, Hyacinth, I have friends who are in the UK who are also involved with this membership, and we've had the conversation, same story there. None of us globally have been taught about gold and silver in education. We were taught basically to be good listeners, to stand in lines, be compliant, listen, fed information, told how to think, told how to behave, work hard, go to college, get a degree, work even harder, save your dollars, pay a bank to hold those dollars. And now we know, Tony just brought it up, fiat, fake currency, right? So all of this was fake. We were earning fake money and paying somebody to hold our fake money. So when I saw this membership, the educational platform, I was blown away. I'm like, how different would our life look had from day one? I think when I started working at 14 years old, I was babysitting. What if I had taken my savings and started investing in silver back then? How different would my financial portfolio look? Well, I know, because I've been learning from people who started a long time ago. The good news is it's not too late, right? People sometimes like, I missed the boat. Nobody's missed the boat at all. In fact, timing is impeccable right now for silver and gold investment. And if you haven't started seeing silver and gold pop up in commercials, or if you're surfing on social media or just hearing conversations, reading newsprint, you're going to start seeing it, because it is becoming mainstream conversation now with what's going on globally with the global economy. Especially, I'm in the States, what's going on here in the United States with our current situation, where they're printing up dollars like their newspaper, like it's newspaper, and it's not a good situation.
Right, Danielle, they're doing the same thing here in Canada. And I just heard on the news, speaking of what you were speaking, was printing money. We had touched upon that with Curtis last week and the week before about, this is what we refer to as inflation. As soon as that gold back came off the dollar, it gave the government just a Wild West, do as you want, whatever, and just having a printing machine. Little did we know. We do know, but we had no idea to the degree that they've been printing. Well, we do now. But the thing that was really upsetting for me just the other day was the inflation numbers. They're calling gloom and doom at, I think in the States, they were calling 6.8% inflation. In Canada, and I don't know where they get these numbers from, was 4 point something. And I'm thinking, do any of them go down and shop at all? Because I can tell you, I wouldn't be feeling 6%, but I'm certainly feeling the 50 to 80 to 100% that's going on out there. So I'd love to know where their bloody numbers are coming from, right? Again, forced, manipulated, agenda, which makes total sense, right? That they've convinced us, oh, we wouldn't lead you the wrong way. Things that make you go, Thank you so much. And that's the thing that I really loved. You were the one, just so you all know, I was so, Danielle was so patient with me because I wasn't ready to take a look. And I was still kind of being a little stubborn. And like her, I was doing some researching. And then I realized I really didn't know where to buy it. I do have a local down the street. But I'm sure I could trust them. They've got a pretty good reputation, but it's like, what do I buy? And how much do I buy? And can I get more of it? And again, right back circling around, what should I get if I do want more? Do I get the same thing? Like, what's the difference, right? And there's a huge difference. And that's the part that I really appreciate Danielle sharing, saying, Tony, please don't buy anything until you understand what is a good defense and what is a good offense. And that's important to know in the sense that what type of an investor. And I'm like, oh no, I just want to get some gold and silver. She goes, trust me, just go listen. And then I realized there's like 5 different types of investors. And I'm thinking, oh no, I just want to invest against these guys that are duping us. I just want to protect myself, and what we've created. And then I realized after going through the education and learning about the different styles and, desires of why you're doing it, I went, wait a minute, I'm all 5. I had no idea I was all 5. And what they share, just so you all know, what they share is, are you doing it to hedge? So that's the defense. Isn't that right, Danielle? So first of all, the defense is hedging against bad government decisions, like what you just referred to, right? Really bad, this crazy printing of money and inflation, right? So it's hedging against, that and just basic economic collapse. But then there's also, but then it's like, well, so what do you buy for that? Right? So there's different types. So could you share with us the different types of coins and silver and gold available for defense and what you would need also for offense? Because there are different levels. And this is why I never recommend what to buy until I find out, well, what kind of an investor are you? And then people always say, well, I don't know. And I go, come on over and let's start learning together.
Exactly. Yeah. One of the things I didn't realize when we made our initial purchase, I realize now, having done, it's called the buyer certification program, just so you know, that's what it's called in the education platform. And I realized our first initial investment was for protection, for insurance, to hedge, because we were concerned about what was going on in the world in 2020, and now we realize we had right for concern on all aspects of what's going on in the world. But so we realized that we were using it to hedge, right, and to ensure against should something happen. Once we did the buyer certification, just like Tony, we realized, my gosh, we are all 5, because I never realized that you could diversify within gold and silver. I just thought of it as, well, I'm just going to turn my fiat into gold and silver and just sit there and wait. So doing that, investing in bullion or in the bars, that's how you're protecting yourself, ensuring what you already have, and then protecting and hedging against inflation or collapse. I didn't realize that there was a strategy for growing your wealth, right? So defense would be protection, offense would be growing, and numismatic coins, the collectible space, which I knew nothing about. In fact, I wasn't even interested when I was first introduced to this membership, because what they do have, which now I think is brilliant, is they have a disciplined monthly auto savings. So turning your fiat, instead of taking, hopefully we're all doing a little bit of saving each month. Well, instead of saving it in the form of dollars, fiat currency or pounds, and putting it in the bank, we have now redirected that in the auto saver, which is the disciplined monthly auto savings in the form of numismatics, collectible coins. That space which we knew nothing about. There's a reason we knew nothing about it. That's a space that really only the elite have really been allowed to take part in. And you had to be in a special club to even know about the numismatics. Well, this membership, the company, they have created the most gorgeous collectible coins, and now they're allowing us to have access to them. So we're very much diversified. We're very focused on the numismatics, and that same money that was sitting in the bank, we've now seen a 23% return just on our numismatics. While we're waiting for the price of silver and gold to go up in ounces, which we know it's inevitable, right? It's so suppressed. And if you don't really, you're like, what are you talking about? Get the information, because this will make sense. It's very suppressed right now. Silver today, I didn't even look at an American Eagle. Yesterday it was like 33.24. Okay. They say if it were not suppressed, it should actually be at about $2,000 an ounce minimum. Okay. So while we're waiting for that to go up, our collectibles, our numismatics, which a numismatic, when it shows up, it's a collectible coin. It's got a story behind it, low mintage, meaning not a lot are made. And if it's graded, that means it's behind plastic. You can't touch it with your bare hands. We have focused on our growth in that area. And that's where we're seeing a 23% increase, which we're so excited about. In fact, I'll just take it a step further. We have pulled ourselves completely out of the market. We had annuities. I was also a teacher, so I had a Maine State teacher retirement. I pulled that out, and I've gone into gold and silver, precious metals backed IRA. Before I did that, the reason I did that is I looked at my annuity growth in the last year, and it didn't even grow $100. That's my retirement. That was my future. I'm not okay with that. So
Are you serious? In
yes.
1 year?
Yes. Well, if you look at hyperinflation and what's going on.
Wow.
So anyway, I'm just so hopeful now, right? Fear is gone. I feel prepared. And I'm excited about my financial future now, because I know the story, the real story of gold and silver. I understand purchasing power. And it's exciting.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's the whole thing, isn't it? Knowledge is always bankable. And that's what I've been sharing, trying to get the word out that, we really need to take our power back. And, circling around to the start of this, how did I have such a disconnect to think that God's money wasn't the most precious? Right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's always gone up in value, always. And yes, even if you just ran out and got a little bit of gold and silver like you did, at least it was something. But now that we know a little bit more, let's really design on purpose a wealth strategy, using the tools that we have access to that, as you had mentioned, we never had access to before. Now we do. And we're certainly surrounded by more people that we can trust as before that was questionable. So thank you so much for sharing your journey and all of that information. That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions at all to ask Danielle? Because she's a wealth of information. Do you have a question at all?
I'm just trying to think if I asked you everything yesterday. I think what I was looking at yesterday was once you'd purchased your package, was there a fee for, and she's explained that. She said, she did mention that earlier. So I think that's really being covered now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's different levels, isn't there? From what you
Oh,
can be
for the membership?
Yeah, once you've paid for your membership and then to buy the coins each month.
Yes. So
it's a different level.
So you can come in either with the $199 or the $499, right?
Yeah.
Membership. And I always, this is how I help people sort which membership is for them, is if you're just using the membership for yourself or it's not in the budget, do the $199. But if you're planning on sharing this with people, then I would do the and it's in your budget, do the $4.99. And the reason I say that, I've had 2 conversations just this week. If it's in your budget, do the $4.99 with people who had no intention of sharing. And they got started with the membership and they just love it. And it's just a natural conversation that they're having. And now they're sharing the information. So they're like, oh, I wish I had done, the $4.99. So, but anyway, both memberships will give you access to the benefits. Okay. You get then to choose an auto saver. You get to choose which one you want. And what everybody loves about that is that disciplined auto savings, right? So even if you don't have a lot to save, some people have to cut out. Maybe they're cutting out their morning coffee to redirect it towards an auto saver. The auto savers are 105, 139. I'm sorry, 10. Now there's a new one, 105, 115, 139, and 179. That's in US dollars. And you get to choose which one you want. But they're doing that and they're like, oh my gosh, I am having an asset sent to me every single month. So, but regardless of the membership that you choose, you still have access to all the benefits. With the $199, the education platform that we're talking about, that you only have 3 months to access. And after that, you have to pay $10 a month to access that. So I always tell people to hurry up and get that information, that education in, or you can turn it on at any point and pay the $10 a month. $4.99, you just have access to it all year long. And both memberships come with silver. So that's the other thing. Sometimes people don't realize that they're actually getting silver when they get their membership, which is awesome.
It feels good.
I've got it right here.
It
The
just
digital
feels really good.
Wow.
Yeah, Tony, I was going to ask you. So they've all seen the video of how the membership works?
Some have not, because some are new. Some are
Okay.
new. Yeah.
So
Because
I know-
we're just introducing it to Noble Goldman now. So
Okay, so Hyacinth has seen the video.
Yeah.
Miriam has seen, I know Miriam's seen the video.
mhm.
So I highly recommend Jolene, and I know Stephen just hopped on, so you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but get back to Tony and ask her to share the video so you understand fully what we're talking about. It's a great explanation. It does, the video will do a way better job at explaining than I can. And but yes, Jolene, you've got your hands up.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I was just, because the EU, I'm in the EU, and they have just established a new law that anything coming out from the EU, so like if I got something from Canada sent to me, which just happened, or even from the UK, because now the UK is no longer part of the EU, I have to pay extra VAT based on the value of the coins and stuff. So I'm presuming that this is going to be the same because most of the silver and such and gold are coming from the US. Is that correct? So if it was sent to me, then I'd have to pay whatever value on top of that with the VAT when it came into the country.
What country are you in?
I'm in Ireland right now.
Okay, we have members in Ireland.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to one of my colleagues in Ireland. From what I understand, gold and silver, there's been no VAT tax up until this point because it's gold and silver.
Mm-hmm.
Now we don't, in the US, in our membership, you can actually get jewelry. We don't offer the jewelry to the UK or to Ireland because the VAT tax is so high.
Right.
So
yeah,
I have a feeling this will still be protected because of the laws around gold and silver. Could be wrong, but I'll talk to my my colleagues in Ireland and see.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would be good to.
Yeah. Sorry, Hyacinth. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
I was going to say it would be good to find out what, if there is an extra charge for, receiving goods.
Yeah, Hyacinth, there isn't in the UK. I know that. There isn't in Ireland or the UK right now. We have teams in both of those countries. So
Yeah,
if you're not,
it's just that the VAT thing just started here. Like, so it was like I think it was because of Brexit, I think the EU started to do different things. And
How long ago?
I think within the summer.
Oh, okay, then don't worry about it, because
Okay.
they get coins every month.
Okay. Yeah, because it's just like today I had to pay 30 euros VAT for 129 euro package that my parents had, basically my Christmas gifts for my parents.
Oh,
So,
dear.
Wow.
yeah.
Well, I know that as Danielle had mentioned, yeah, we have quite a few members in the UK and in Ireland, and that's one of the reasons why UK and Ireland are. So just so you know, the company, the membership is, they're opening other markets, and the only thing they're concerned about is security and the taxes. So that's what's so cool about dealing in gold and silver, is that it's much easier to open countries because there's only two things you're worried about. Like as Danielle had mentioned earlier, she was in the wellness space, and trying to open new countries with wellness products is painstaking.
Oh yeah.
because of
With
all the details
doTERRA, it's
involved.
been really hard.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, but with gold and silver, it's not. And I'm glad you brought up that question, because it's very important, because let's face it, once again, we're getting back to that conversation about forced directions, right?
Exactly.
And this is exactly the power of gold and silver, that we're pulling ourselves out of those forced directions
Mhm.
and taking our power back into what direction I decide we go in. And no better way of doing it than with God's money.
I have a, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was
Danielle.
just gonna add this, because our company is very forward thinking, and they are absolutely going to go global. Right now, we're in the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, UK, and Ireland. They're planning on going like global, right? One of the things that they're gonna eventually do is they're going to have a hub in Europe. And they have their eyes on the Netherlands. Apparently that's kind of the best place where, and then eventually having, right now, the vault is in the US. So anything that comes is shipped from the US, but the plan is that they would create a hub in Europe, a hub in probably Singapore for the Asian market, and Australia and New Zealand. So that is coming, which is exciting. Because once that happens, then I think that's probably the way around, you know, the VAT tax for if there were ever to be, that imposed. But I just asked, and I don't know if she's going to be able to take a look at my question, but I just asked one of my friends in Ireland about, but I know, because I know that up until this point, there has been no VAT tax.
That's good. Cool. The next question I had is actually about, I know that Tony has mentioned that most of the silver are sovereignty silver, and gold. So that means then, like, because I know in the past when I've done stuff with gold, a lot of the questions I've had is, could the government come and take your gold away like they did in the 20s? And as far as I can tell, they can't anymore, but I just want to see if through this, have they,
Jolene, are you American?
I'm Canadian. I'm with Tony.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah. Because I'm like, you don't sound like you're from Ireland. So I don't know what the laws are in Canada. In the US, we are protected. And this is why the company is so brilliant. In the Sound Money wallet, which, Jolene, this will make more sense once Tony sends you the video, but it's our digital wallet that allows people digital access to investing in gold and silver in increments, but physically backed, right? It comes in the form of American gold and silver eagles. The reason the company does that is because by law here in the US, the government can never confiscate money from a sovereign nation. So everything they do, even our collectible coins, you will notice they are all the currency from a sovereign nation. Okay, so that protects us. They cannot come in and take it. Times are different now too. I don't think anybody is going to allow the government to come in and take their money.
Well, that's very powerful to know, because again, how would we know that?
I
right?
had no idea. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know that they printed sovereign coins. Okay, when we think go buy gold and silver, we're thinking we're going to go get a chunk of something, right? Right.
Yes.
I mean, I did. I mean, I didn't even. I thought, this is only for the rich, right? I had no idea that we had access to this kind of stuff, right? Like, I mean, this is what I'm saying. I mean, I'm the first to admit it that I really wasn't smart about my wealth strategy. But again, you only know what you know. But everybody, we know better now. We have access to the most amazing tools. And if you want to learn more, I have put a link in the chat, freedomgoldrush.com. Danielle and her partner, Mark, have created this website to help and empower you to learn more about gold and silver, also to learn more about the membership. Robert Kiyosaki's videos are in there as well. It's just a divine place under one umbrella to really start to learn. And Mike Mahoney too, there's a 25 clip about the difference, and it's like blew my mind, really blew my mind.
And I'll just direct you, if you do go to freedomgoldrush.com, right on the front page, it'll be Mark's face on there. He did a 30-minute overview, which is it's all encompassing of how it works. I always tell people, take notes, because it is a lot of information. Take it in. You'll know if it resonates with you, right? And then obviously if you have questions, then we can circle back and get those questions answered for you. Tony is incredible. She's an amazing leader. And we're just excited because we are on a mission to empower people. I truly believe God's money was always intended for us, and it has been purposely kept from us to keep us enslaved in the system. And now that we understand, the more knowledge that people get, the more empowered they become. Now our mission is to get everybody's hands back holding what was meant for us. And when we do that, I truly believe we take our power back. So it allows us to pull ourselves out of the system.
Danielle, I just love it. I just love the way you share. I can feel your heart. And that's the most important thing for me, is to surround myself with people. This 2021 has been such a blessing for me and my family, because we have found a new tribe, soulpreneurs, heart-minded individuals that are awake and understand that, we can't keep going in this direction because it's serving no one. So I want to help empower my brothers and sisters, as many as I can. And that's what it's about. When we link arms and hearts, everybody, this is how we thrive. And we don't have to be here just clawing and trying to survive. So I'm so glad that all of you took the time to join me today. Thank you, Danielle, for taking the time to share your beautiful heart, your wisdom, and your knowledge. And if you have any questions, anybody, about the membership, or just want to empower yourself more a little bit about gold and silver, just go check out the website and invite a friend next time. We will be here next week. I've invited Mark to come on, Danielle's beautiful partner, and maybe we'll share a little bit more about those beautiful numismatic coins that you were talking about, because I started my little offense as well. And I just get so excited when it shows up. I really do. And I never thought I would, but it really is a little piece of history that I get to keep. And I'm really excited for myself and my family and all my friends. So thanks again, everybody. Go ahead, honey.
Can I, if I wanted to join, what is the process?
Great question. The best thing to do is to get back to the person who invited you. And I know that was Martin. And then Martin, yes, Martin's amazing. He's
gorgeous. Yeah.
Soul. I know. He's just an amazing soul. And get back to Martin. And then Martin, I think Martin was brought with Edit, and Edit does have a link.
Yeah, Edit.
So so just reach out to Martin and said, Martin, come on, we got to get this thing going.
Okay.
And Tony, I'm assuming you'll also let Martin. So Martin doesn't have a membership yet.
I'm not. I don't know his conversation with Edit, but I will definitely check that today.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't got a membership yet. Not yet.
You might be the person who forces them to get one today.
I think it's a great idea. Honestly, I wish I'd found this. I was saying to, Tony, I was saying to Tony, I wish I'd, come across this a long time ago, because I'd have always wanted to get gold bars, and I could never find anywhere to buy it or even find someone to trust. So, yeah.
You just made me think of something. I do want to tell you a testimonial from one of our members in Ireland. He ordered gold from a company out of the UK. He waited 3 months to get it. He got a membership with us. He got his package within 4 days. He was blown away. He was like, so I'm excited for you, Hyacinth, because
Can I ask you a question as well on the larger package? Because it's 2 packages, isn't there? They said something about business cards. Is that going to come with your name on already printed, or do you have to order that, or how does that work?
yes, once you become a member, it's going to have you go in and sign up, because you have to put in your personal information, and it will.
Oh, okay.
With and these are amazing. These are brand new. It's a wealth strategies. This is literally, you could give this to someone, never say another word, and it will build the value of gold and silver, and then it'll make them very interested in the membership. But anyway, when you do sign up, your name, we got this, we went to a conference where they just released these, but your name and your contact info will be right here. So
you get a few of those.
You get 4 of these, you get some business cards. Yep. And
I ordered extra because I'm so excited. That book, that new wealth strategy book, is off the chain. Really? Am I allowed to say that? I mean, it really just dials everything in to make sense. It really does. And it really helps you understand the why, the what, the how. And then it also helps you understand, a defense and offense, and you'll dive deeper in the membership with the education that's in there, the buyer certification. I am so glad that I did it, because by me doing it, when you all ask me a question, I can answer intelligently that I won't give you the answer until I know what kind of investor you are too, because then I'm doing you a disservice. So that's why I dive deeper in asking the questions of what you're really looking for. So okay. Thank you so much for reaching out. I'm really excited for you.
Yes. And and Tony will direct you to it, but we've got great resources. Mark's created a great training site. So everything you need to get yourself set up, all little how-to videos.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And it's also going to be set up easily too. And because of Mark and Danielle and that beautiful training site, every video you could possibly imagine for any question that you have to get started and to understand. So, and I'm going to be doing little videos as well in the MSI section of Noble Golden, which I'm doing as well. So this is where you get started. This is what you do next. This is it. And then head over to here. Right. So, but if you're wanting to just share, generally speaking, I did put the general overview of extra videos, the Freedom Gold Rush, so that you can see a little bit more, because it has to do with another video in there that Mark did with the new wealth strategy booklet. It's awesome. It's really awesome. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. That was an awesome conversation, Danielle. I'm so excited for this 2022. It's going to look way different.
Thank you so much.
I got my soul tribe for 2021, and now I got my power tribe for 2022.
Awesome. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. I look forward to connecting and getting to know you more. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle.
Everyone.
Bye.
You're welcome.
Tony.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.